Welcome back, you guys. Welcome back. I have missed you guys so much. How have you guys been? How are you doing? How's life? How's summer vacation? How has it been back out in the world? Fill me in, you guys. Let me know how you guys have been. I have missed y'all so much. And I am so excited to be back with a sit-down video to do a review over the Writeshop Primary C homeschool curriculum. So, if you guys are interested in seeing or hearing my perspective of the Writeshop Primary C program, then stick around for the video. Be free. Let's go. Be free. But before we jump into this video, hello, hi, if you're new here, welcome. My name is Danielle and I am the non-traditional mommy, and on this channel we talk about homeschooling and parenting, and we do vlogs and basically just talk about life, anything that pertains to life. So if any of that is interest of yours, I would love for you to consider joining my family by hitting the subscribe button. To the rest of my non-traditional family, if you're here, if you are currently here watching this video, if you were like, wait, she's back, I am going to go watch, then you are the MVP, the real MVP. And I love you bunches. Thanks for hanging in there with me. Let's jump in and talk about Writeshop. So I did a video early on in the school year. I'll leave it linked if you want to go check it out, talking about the curriculums that I was going to be using, and Writeshop was one of them. And as promised, I am here to do a full review over that curriculum and let you guys know what I thought about it, how it went, all of those things. So today I'm going to be focusing on Writeshop Primary. I did purchase the Writeshop 1 for my sophomore, who is now a junior, but I will do a separate review over that because I think these are two separate types of curriculums, even though it's the same curriculum. But today we are going to be focusing strictly on the Writeshop Primary. I purchased the Primary C book. They have A, B, C, and I believe D, E, F, if I'm not mistaken. You can purchase the ebook, the hard copy. They have several options, and options are always good. I chose to do the ebook version, so I will not have anything physical to show you guys, but I'll throw in some screenshots and screen recordings and different things like that as I discuss and talk about Writeshop, so you guys can sort of get a feel of what the digital version would be like if you decide to go with the digital version. As I stated earlier, I did the Primary C. My kids at the time were ages 6 through 10, and I chose book C. So I did that because my younger child, I felt, could be challenged a little bit more. I kind of wanted to see how far I could push him while also making sure that my older kids were challenged. When you go online and look at it, you'll think, wait, this doesn't seem like it's right for kids that age. But Writeshop does talk about how their curriculum can be used up to the age 11. We'll get into all of that. What I want to first share with you guys is my perspective and what I think Writeshop is good for. So it is definitely not a spelling curriculum. It is not a grammar curriculum. It is a writing curriculum. And the way I feel about that is I think through action, you learn. By doing, you learn. I personally feel through writing, you're going to learn spelling. Through writing, you're going to learn grammar. So it's not where it focuses on these things, but by doing the writing, you're ultimately learning these things. So that's my perspective. So if you're a parent that wants spelling, something that's strictly focused on spelling, you're going to want to buy a spelling curriculum in addition to. If you're looking for something that's heavily focused on grammar, you're going to want to buy a grammar curriculum in addition to. So keep that in mind when exploring Writeshop. It is what it says. It's a write shop. It's a writing shop. writing workshop. I don't know, but that is what it is. They say the purpose of Writeshop Primary is designed for parents to work closely with their children, and by closely they do mean closely. That is literal. As you interact with your child, you help them explore the world of words through a variety of colorful and meaningful activities. Writeshop Primary is not meant to be a rigorous writing program. It is an introduction to beginning writing skills that gives children tools to experience success as they develop the ability to write. Whether you have a more advanced child or one who is just learning, this program is flexible so students can work at their own level. And I think that is always a plus for a curriculum. The curriculum will fit around your child versus you trying to squeeze your child into a curriculum. Those are my favorite kind of curriculums. And this is level based and not grade based or age based. On the website, they do have different things you can do to see where you feel your child would fall, what level to put them in. I love that about this curriculum, that it is level and not age or grade based. I want to put this disclosure out there because I use this with my older kids who are 10. This is what Writeshop says about using primary book C with an older child. It was written for the typical 7 or 8-year-old in mind, but many parents have reported success in it with 9 to 11-year-olds who have had little or no prior writing experience. For these older students, the lessons can provide a helpful foundation in sentence and paragraph development, story planning, descriptive writing, and simple reports. Even so, some of the activities may not appeal to your older child as they become more socially and emotionally mature. They might view certain projects as childish, but you can eliminate these or adapt it to your child to make it more age appropriate. And they do give you some examples in the teacher manual. As I stated, I use this up to age 10. And I did that because my kids range. I have one child that is an advocate writer. She loves to write. She writes all the time, but she just writes. She's not doing structured paragraph writing or knows to write a report. She just likes to write stories and just write. She is a natural writer. Whereas I have other kids who despise writing. They don't like the physical part of writing. Some of them get risk fatigue. Some of them are perfectionists. So they will sit there and erase an A over and over and over and over until they get the perfect A, and that frustrates them. I have those type of kids. I have some kids who will write if they can be on the computer typing. Other kids who like to tell stories but maybe not write the stories. So because of that, I felt like starting in the middle would be a good place for us to see where we needed to go. If I needed to bring it down, I could bring it down. If I needed to take it up, I could take it up. And I found that book C ended up being perfect for my group of kids, and we really did enjoy it. For me, again, it's all about enjoying, because if they're enjoying it, I'm enjoying it, then they're learning. So the way Writeshop works, it is heavily parent involved. You're going to have to be involved. You're going to have to plan. You're going to have to prep. You're going to have to gather materials. It does not come with everything you need. Now, again, this could be because I bought the digital version, not sure how the physical version comes. I'll have a report for that on next year, but you are going to have to buy and purchase extra materials. Now, you don't have to, because to be honest, I didn't purchase everything that they recommended. I must say, in full disclosure for those of you who are new here, I don't homeschool traditionally. We don't operate like that. So for me, I am able to now take curriculums and make them fit. I'm like, oh, I'm not buying that. That's a waste of money. For example, a pointer was one of the things they recommended. I was like, I'm not buying a pointer. Get your pencil. Your pencil is going to be your pointer when it says use your pointer. So I'm just able to navigate it that way. But you do have to plan. You do have to prep. There is a little bit of preparing for the lesson. This isn't a situation where you can just wake up and be like, okay, what are we doing? There is going to be some preparation on your part. And it's so funny because I find that the curriculums I love the most require the most out of me, like moving beyond the page. It's insane. Like, I love these curriculums, but then they require me to do so much. So there's that. The other great thing about Writeshop is they they have 3 different plans that you can choose from. So they have a 3-week plan. With that plan, the curriculum that you purchase, whether it's A, B, or C, is going to last the whole school year. So it's going to take you a full 30 weeks to get through the book. They also have a 2-week plan where on that plan you can get through the book in 20 weeks. If you have a child that is burning through these things, they love writing, over ambitious, just a child that is enjoying it, you can move a little bit quicker. And it breaks it down. You're not having to figure it out yourself. It tells you how to do it. If you pick Writeshop up, mid-semester or something like that, and you're needing to get done, then you can do this 2-week one. Then they have a 1-week one, which will finish in 10 weeks. So say you're not really sure and you want to just start with book A because you're one of those people that likes to start new programs at the beginning. Then with this 1-week program, you can get through all 3 books in the entire school year because it's only going to take you 10 weeks to finish each book. So that's an accelerated one. Or say you pick it up at 2nd semester and you're like, man, we need to finish this. Then you can move into that 1-week one. I like that they give you these different plans and structures to try to fit into your family, your lifestyle, for your child, whatever. And you don't have to think to figure out how to get through it. We did the 3-week one primarily because it fit into our block scheduling, which is how I like to plan our school schedules. With the 3-week, we did English on Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Last Friday of the 2 weeks, we were off. And so I like that because that's just how I naturally do our school schedules. So for me, I didn't have to try to fit English in. It just fit in naturally. So we did the 3-week plan. And with that plan, it also has what you do on each day. So Monday is going to be an activity set, like a worksheet or some type of hands-on activity. And then on Wednesday, you're going to do guided writing. What guided writing is when you as the parent are doing the writing. They recommend that you get the large flip through notebooks. I did purchase that. That was one of the items that I got. You don't have to have that. If you just have 1 student or even 2 and you're sitting down at the table, you can just have a notebook and sit down at the table and do the guided writing. I bought that because I was teaching multiple kids at one time, and it was just much easier to have this big notebook up on the wall where I can just write through and they can see me writing, and we can do the guided writing as a group. So I did buy that. So guided writing is basically where you as the parent, you're doing the writing, your kids are coming up with the story, the narrative, and you're writing it down and you're just guiding them through that process. My kids love this part. This was their favorite part of Writeshop. Skip the activities, guided writing was their favorite part. They loved the fact that they were able to just tell the story. For my kids who hated writing, they loved the fact that I was the one doing the writing. Even for my child that loves to write, she would write as I wrote, so she would write it down as well. And then the way I did the guided writing is I incorporated spelling. So I would have words, like new words, and then they would come write that word in a different color, and then that would become their spelling word for the week. So that's how I incorporated writing into Writeshop. So there are ways for you to do it like that as well. So that's guided writing. And then on the 3rd day, you're doing guided writing again, as well as brainstorming. So remember I said earlier, when it says parents being involved, it means you're going to be involved because again, you're the one that is writing. So that is pretty much how it works and how you use it and all of that good stuff. I'm just going to go through really quick a sample lesson and show you guys how it works and break down that lesson. So let's just go to lesson 1. Each lesson lasts 8 days. At the very beginning, it's going to give you an overview of the lesson. It's going to tell you how you need to prep. So preparation, this is when you're going to take the time to do whatever prep, any type of planning, gather your materials and different things like that. It's going to tell you what you're going to be focusing on. And each lesson has a theme to it. So lesson 1 was a time theme. If your child already knows how to tell time, then you can, you You don't have to really teach time to them if they're older. But if they don't know how to tell time, this is a good time to incorporate that. So bring in a little bit of math and maybe even coincide your math with what you're working on in writing. But ultimately, what this lesson was about was who, what, when, where, why, or how. So you're learning the story ingredients essentially. Then it has in a big old gray box what you need to prep for. And they say, this is for the parents to do, not the child. This is for you to do. Now you can have your kids help, but this is for you to do. And so it tells you everything you need. So pointers was one of the things. Again, I didn't buy the pointers. And then a detail wheel. And I had my kids do this part. I had them each make their own detail wheel. They liked it. It incorporated some art and it was a fun little thing to do. Day one, we did a worksheet. So the worksheet was Hickory Dickory Dock. And then day two, we did the guided writing. Now, this lesson breaks down guided writing literally step by step. You're not going to have to think about it. You're not going to have to try to figure it out. It literally is like parent says, child says, parent says, child says, then do this, then do that. So if you're someone who despises writing or you don't like English or this isn't your strong suit, then this is still a great curriculum for you because again, it literally breaks it down step by step. There is no guesswork here. So I love that if you're a new homeschooler and you're like freaking out and you're like, what do I do? What do I do? This is a great, great curriculum for that. I was there. I was that homeschooler at the very beginning, so I understand. Guided means parent-led and directed. With guided, you're leading and you're directing. You're not telling. Okay, you're not telling, you're leading and directing. And then the writing practice is you're practicing together whatever new ideas and skills. Here's an example of how it breaks it down. Show your child a cookbook. Point out that recipes have a list of ingredients. Read those ingredients. Now show your child the detail wheel and explain that they're going to be detectives and that they have to find the story ingredients. You're going to talk about characters, the who, the setting, the where, the time, when, and blah, 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 and so forth and so on. Then it has a section where parents say, and this is idea from other parents, like what they did and how they spruced up the activity. And then it gives you the guided writing practice, the directions, and how to prepare. And this was so fun, you guys, because as a group, they had to come up with one topic. So they had to have a little bit of discussion here, going back and forth of, oh, we should talk about this, or oh, we should talk about that. And then as a group, land on a topic. Then after that, we went through, okay, who was there? Where did we go? When did we go? Why did we go? How long? Just all of the different story ingredients. And we literally put this story together. Now, the cool thing about guided writing is because this is where your grammar and structure and all of that is as you're writing as the parent, you're telling them, okay, paragraphs are 5 sentences. You always indent and they're watching you do it. And I felt like that was taking the pressure off of my kids because they weren't having to do it. So they were watching me do it and just soaking in the knowledge versus the stress for those that hate writing of having to write and then remember, oh, that's right, I didn't indent, or how many sentences. It took off that stress for them. So that's one of the reasons I really, really enjoyed the guided writing, because they were able to have fun, tell the story, and then just soak up what I was doing as I was doing it. Then it breaks it down into different parts. Part 1 was planning. So that's when they went back and forth. What are we going to write about? What are we going to write about? We should write about this. Oh, we should write about that. And then the second part is actually writing the story. So that's when I would actually write it out on our big notebook. And each guided writing practice is set up that way. So you have your planning and then you're writing. So you're together as a family, you're planning, and then you as the parent are writing it out. And that's how each guided writing section works. Then they have brainstorming. Brainstorming, this is when you're sitting down and you and your child are coming up with ideas for the writing project. Your child is learning about brainstorming and coming up with ideas and putting different things down on paper to figure out, okay, which direction do I want this story to go, and what components do I want to have, and how long do I want it to be, and all of these different things that brainstorming is. Then you have this writing project, and that's when you put everything that you've been talking about together and you write a full story based off of what you guys brainstormed on. The writing project is going to be edited and revised. The other guided writings do not get revised. So all your other guided writings that you're doing, they don't get edited, but your writing project does get edited. Then in your next guided writing practice, you're going to be editing and revising. So it has like this whole secret agent where you can select a teddy bear to help you. My kids were too old for this, even my 6-year-old. So I didn't do this part. The first lesson, we all did our own revision. But moving on, I would let them swap papers with each other and they would correct each other. And we used the red pen, you guys. I am a fan of the red pen, and so are my kids. They loved using a red pen to grade each other's papers. So that's when we would do this. So anyway, so you read your child's writing project together, and then they're supposed to have a magnifying glass. We did this one time. I wanted to try it out, so I bought them magnifying glasses. It could have been my fault because I just went to the Dollar Tree and got magnifying glasses. It wasn't really working, and we found we didn't like it, so that's when I incorporated the red pen instead of the magnifying glass. But they would go through and find the main character. So looking for the story ingredients. Who was the main character? What was the setting? What time? All the things that you've talked about. So that's pretty much what they're looking for in the revision. We would go through and revise. Again, my child who loves to write would rewrite hers. My other kids is like, great, see the changes, I'll fix it next time. But again, the pressure to revise it is not there, which again is what made them excited to do writing. And on English days, that made them excited to do it. Then they have where you publish your project on the computer. This was my kids' favorite part too. I think I've said that about a lot of this stuff. But essentially, they got to go on the computer, type out their corrected story, print it out, and then have a little book. Loved it. They loved doing this, especially my kids who didn't appreciate writing because they got to type and be on the computer and type it up and then actually print it and show it to their older siblings. And for them, it was like a keepsake, a little keepsake book. This is essentially the structure for each and every lesson. So you're doing a worksheet, you're doing guided writing, you're doing a writing project, then you're revising, and then you're publishing the book. And that's pretty much how you use the curriculum. Pretty easy, pretty simple, not a lot of stress, not a lot of thought work behind it, but a lot of prep work. So you don't have to do a lot of thinking. It's not complicated. You're not having to read over and over and over like, how do I do this? What is it wanting me to do? It's very easy to understand. A lot of prep again, but very easy to understand. And I keep saying a lot of prep, but it's not a lot of prep like moving beyond the page kind of prep. But you do want to read the night before to know if it thinks you need to have this, and you can decide if you don't want to do that, do want to do it. Because I did find a couple times where I would be on the fly and I would get up and just do it and be like, oh man, that would have been cute. We should have did that. We should have had that. And then I would have to circle back and do it again. And so I did find in reading your lessons in advance and knowing, okay, I do want to have this or I don't want to have this, definitely helps, especially if you're teaching a child who's older and you're not sure if a lesson is going to be too babyish for them, or if you're teaching a child who's younger, is it too advanced? How can I bring it down a little bit? Definitely want to have some prep there. The price, again, I did the digital, very affordable, especially if you have multiple kids, because with the digital, I was able to just print it all out. I didn't have to buy multiple workbooks, and I'm going to talk about that here in just a second. So that was the most cost efficient way for us as a family and the amount of kids that I was trying to cover and teach. So very affordable. I'll stick the price up here on the screen on how much the digital costs versus the hardback. As far as flexibility, So flexible. Again, this is not age-based or grade-based, it's level-based. So you as a parent are able to decide what level your child should go in. Where do you think your child would fall with Writeshop? And then on top of that, you can take it even a step further and mix it up and make it fit your child based on their needs and where they are. My freshmen in high school, they did Writeshop with us interchangeably with other curriculums because they struggle with writing. A lot of wrist fatigue, did physical therapy for that for a very, very long time, but still suffer with the wrist fatigue. And so at times I would have him pop in and do Writeshop with us as well. And so very easy to adapt. And I mean, he's 15, so very easy to adapt to different ages. So I really, really do appreciate that about curriculums who think more about level than saying your child is 7, this is where they should be kind of situation. So the flexibility is there with them having the 3 different plans. Flexibility, we again did the 3 weeks, which is designed to last 30 weeks. But those of you who know me, I school all year round. I school on Saturdays, I school at night. As long as I'm getting my 180 days in, my 4 hours a day, that's all I'm worried about. How I do it, when I do it, that part I'm not as stressed about. Again, flexibility. You can stretch it and make it fit into your family and what you guys got going on. I was in Alabama for 6 weeks, a little over 6 weeks. At that time, my kids came down, I think twice, and then I came home twice. And we fit in, like we grinded out some work during those times. Because again, a lot of it is guided writing. And so that was just a matter of me sitting down and writing with them, which again, I love. And because it was guided writing, my husband was able to hop in and do it with them. My older kids are able to hop in and do it with them. Flexible, so much flexibility. I didn't feel like, oh my God, my kids are falling behind because I'm not home and this curriculum, I got to tell everybody like how to do it, and it's so involved and it's so much work and so detailed. It's not that. Yes, there could be a lot of prep and planning, but if you already did that, then you can move out the way and somebody could come in, you know, like a substitute teacher kind of situation. But it's so easy to use that anybody could pick it up and just start using it. Like literally just read it verbatim and you're using the curriculum. Flexibility is amazing. So let's talk about the cons, because I feel like that was all the pros, right, y'all? Was that all the pros? So flexible, so easy to use, cost efficient, can be used with multiple kids. Let's talk about the cons. The thing that I did not like was the digital version. I saw where they have colorful pages and some stuff was supposed to be in color and some wasn't. And that was a little confusing for me trying to figure out with the digital version. I feel like with the physical, all that's already done. There's no thought process in that part. And that part took me a little bit of like, okay, wait, what is this? You know, color, not color, what's going on here? And I just was like, forget it. We just gonna do it this way. Because again, that's just how I operate. I'm not going to stress about this stuff as my kids are learning and getting it. That's all that matters. So that was a con for me. I felt like the digital wasn't as prepared for you as getting the physical copy. I feel like the physical copy, my kids may have taken away more from it because of how it's set up. I don't know. Again, I'll know next year because I'm going to buy the physical copy next year. So that was a con for me, is that the two were not what I feel equal. They may be, I might buy the physical and be like, this, I could have just got the digital. But I feel like they're not equal playing parts. The other con is you're printing. You're printing a lot of paper. So if you're a person that doesn't like to waste paper or do a lot of printing, then that's going to be a con for you if you buy the digital copy of this particular curriculum. Now, you know, if you have an iPad, my teacher's manual is on my iPad. In this day and age, your kids can do their worksheets on the iPad. So really, you could eliminate the whole printing if you wanted to. But that could be a con as well. Of course, the prep, y'all. Y'all know how I feel. Like, the involvement. Sometimes I don't want to prep. I don't want to prepare. I just want to get up and do. And so for me, I always throw this in as a con. even though it's not really. But if you are a person that doesn't like to buy a lot of extra stuff, you just want to buy the curriculum, you don't want all the fluff, then this could definitely be a con. And I'm going to talk about that in Old Freedom, you guys, because whew, there's a lot of fluff with that curriculum. But yeah, if you're a person that don't want to have to just buy all this stuff, then that's going to be a con. You know, magnifying glasses and pointers and big notebooks and all the things that it wanted you to buy, instruction paper, all of this stuff, you know, file folders and teddy bears and things like that. If you're a person that don't want to buy all of that, but then you feel like you have to because it's telling you to, then that's going to feel like a con. If you're able to be like, I'm not buying that, then it's not going to feel like a con. So that can be for some people. Really, that's it. Those are the only things that I found that I was kind of like, I don't know. I think I'm going to buy the digital copy next time because I loved this curriculum. I loved it. I know for a fact we're going to use it again. Like, we're going to just stick with this until something shiny and what I feel better comes along. We used Brave Writer for a very long time and I loved Brave Writer, like Advocate Brave Writer. This, I feel like, supersedes Brave Writer. We used Brave Writer and we also used Cover Story, which I loved Cover Story as well. And I might go back to these things, but right now I am loving Writeshop. Just an overall great writing curriculum. It's not spelling, it's not grammar, it's writing. And so me as a writer, I love to write. Writing is my thing. So for me, this is speaking all of my language. That could be it. I should have said that at the beginning. I might be biased when it comes to this curriculum. Those are pretty much the pros and the cons to this particular curriculum. I love it. We're going to be using it again. I think that this curriculum is perfect for any child. If you have a child that loves to write, they're going to love it because it's writing. If you have a child that doesn't love to write, this isn't their thing, the fact that you're doing the writing is going to appease them, maybe. If you have a child that's not a storyteller, it may be a little bit harder for them because this does involve a lot of imagination, a lot of creative thinking. If you have a child that's, I'm not interested in doing that, this may not be the best curriculum for them because, again, it does involve a lot of storytelling and creative thinking and brainstorming. If you don't want to be involved, if you don't want to have to sit down and do guided writing with your child, then this isn't going to be the curriculum for you either. Now, high school, that's a different thing, but with the lower level, lower ages of kids, then you're going to have to do a lot of guided writing. That's basically the entire curriculum is you doing writing. Yeah, that's pretty much it, you guys. That's what I have on Writeshop Primary. I love this curriculum. I think it is an excellent curriculum. I will definitely be using it for next school year and possibly school years after that. If you guys have any questions that I might have missed, please leave those down below if you have any additional questions about this curriculum. If you are still here and you found this video helpful, please give me a thumbs up because apparently that really helps my channel. Please give me a thumbs up. And if you're still here and you were like, I like her, I like her, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, get your trophy, become part of the family, hang out with us, stay for a while. We would love to have you. To the rest of my family, I love you guys and I will see you in the next one. Bye.